Welcome everyone once again to our Sunday service. For those who are looking on Facebook, welcome as well. We'll be speaking today about Ganesha Visarjan. So just to know what's going to happen today. We look at the symbolism of Ganesha today. So welcome, and let's stand for our main Pratna. Shyam will lead you.
Vasudevasudam Hamsacharyamaldanam Devi Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Om Akshe Varade Devi Akshay Brahmaharini Gayatri Jagat Mata Vishnu Namaste Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukameva Vandanam Mrityomukshinamamrita Om Prithvivayarika Devi Tvam Vishnunavrita Tvam Chakaramaam Devi Pamritam Mokshasanam Om Srishti Mata Namami
Om Mahapuritra Sarvashyam Dato Viva Yashmare Purvikaksham Svabhaya Bhayantra Sujivasham Om Astuchavam Samadhyami Govindaya Namah Vritantam Siddhavana Swaha Om Amritopastamasi Swaha Om Amrita Pidhanasi Swaha Om Satyam Yashat Shrirmai Shri Shrayatam Swaha Aspachanam Samadhyami Govindaya Namah Pushmule Sito Brahma Pushmati Janadana Pusagare Sankram Devam Pushkaram Karumayam Om Yena Bhadru Balirajana Dhanindro Mahabala Ten Pon Prativadnami Rakshamachala. Alright, walking the left hand. Begin the purification rites now. And those of you who are here can join us in that. Those of you who are home can do the same thing. Touch first the water in your left palm, press your lips. Om Gandhamasya Astunos, Om Nasur Me Pranastunos, Om Aksharo Me Chakshurastunos, Om Karnyo Me Shrotamastuvans, Om Ahur Me Kalmastutais, Om Hur Me Ujvastu, Om Varishnani Me Angani, Tamastarvani Sahasantu. Begin the benediction. Mantras now, the Swasti Vaj. Those of you who know, please join. Om Hari Om Swasti na Indro Vidastava Swasti na Musha Vishwaveda Swasti na Stakshyo Ishtadevi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Vaya Prithivyan Vaya Ushadishu Vayo Divyantarikshe Vayodha Vayaswati Pradesha Santubhyam Om Vishnu Varatmasi Vishnu Shnakrishnu Vishnu Silosi Vishnu Grosi Vishnu Masi Vishnu Vetava Om Agnila Devata Vatu Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata वसुदेवता रुद्रदेवता आदित्यदेवता मरुतदेवता विश्वदेवदेवता बृहस्पतिदेवता इन्द्रदेवता वरुणदेवता ॐ द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिर् औषधय शान्तिर् वनस्पत्य शान्तिर् विश्वदेव शान्तिर् ब्रह्मा शान्तिर् सर्वं शान्तिर् शान्तिरेव शान्तिर्सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ विश्वानि देवा स्वरितर्दुर्गानि परास्व यद्भद्रं तनआस्व ॐ शुक्लं वरदं देवा शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्ते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिकरा भवन्तु। प्रेम से श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। शरणं प्रभु। Concentrate on breathing now. Om Bhurasri Bhumirasri Ditirasri Viswadhaya Viswasya Bhunasya Dhatri Prithvi Acha Prithvi Trigomha Prithvi Mahi Gomsya प्रेम से श्री पृथ्वी माता की जय। शरणं प्रभु। Our first offerings to Bhagwan Ganesha, Ganesha who is Vigneshwar, remover of obstacles, giver of success, storehouse of wisdom. We ask for Bhagwan, may you bless us with knowledge, intelligence, wisdom, inspire us from within, that we may recognize our challenges and bless us with the ability to find the solutions as well. समस्त विघ्नोपविनाश्य रक्षा मंगल पूजा प्रथमं प्रधानम् ध्यान पूजन भगवान् नमस्ते। ओम सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमस्तुते। श्री गणेशाय नमः नमामि। श्री गौरी माता नमामि। ओम रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्यात्मकं शुभं आसनं च मया दत्तं गृहाणं वरदेशयति आसनं।
जय गणेश देवा माता जागे पार्वती पिता महादेवा। जय गणेश देवा माता जागे पार्वती पिता महादेवा।
With class hands now, we glorify Bhagavan Ganesha.
Om Jai Ganapati Sargun Sadan Kavivar Vadan Prefam Vignaharan Mangalkaram Jai Jai Girja Om Agacha Ganesh Gauri Devi Swasthana Parmeshwari Am Puja Karishyami Om Sada Sammukho Bhava Prem Smriti Gauri Ganesha Bhagwan Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu.
Flowers in hand, we offer salutations now to Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi, the dispenser of prosperity, of wealth, of health, of beauty, of fortune. Most importantly, in Hindu philosophy, light is a symbol of wisdom as opposed to darkness, it symbolizes ignorance. Today we ask, O Devi, in a like manner, the light dispels the darkness of the night. So may the darkness or ignorance be removed and be replaced by the light of spiritual wisdom. To this Mahalakshmi, we join in humble salutations. Om
Om Lakshmi Mata Ye Sara Jag Andiyana Ab tu jyoti de jo ma sare jab ko jiye ujiyara Om Lakshmi Mata सारे जगत को जिए उजियारा ओ मेरा माता जीवन की अंधियारों में तू ही है जीवन ज्योति जीवन की अंधियारों में तू ही है जीवन सब जोगन नाच हमारे ओम लक्ष्मी माता ये सारा जगत जियारा अब तू ज्योति जो माँ सारे जगत को जिए उजियारा ओम लक्ष्मी माता मेरे साधु को नाश करो अब सूरज जिए भाई मेरे साधु को नाश करो अब सूरज जिए भाई ओ श्री तू सब हमको ओ श्री तू सब हमको देती है विनैया ओम लक्ष्मी माता ये सारा जगत कल्याणा अब तू ज्योति दे जो माँ सारे जगत को जिए उजियारा ओम लक्ष्मी माता
The clouds are low. We glorify Bhagavan as Mahalakshmi. Om Matu Lakshmi Kari Kripa Karo Hridayas Manokamana Siddhi Kari Trai Dukharni Haro Devi Sarvas Jayati Jayati Jay Lakshmi Kari Shatrunitanash Mahalakshmi Namastobhyam Namastobhyam Sureshwari Hare Priye Namastobhyam Namastobhyam Nayani Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah Prem Sasi Mahalakshmi Mata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. Red flower. The flowers in hand, we offer salutations to Sri Navgraha Devata, Navgraha symbolizing the planets in our solar system. We as Hindus, we accept our lives are influenced by the positions of these planets. The energy released from them can affect us both positively and negatively. For whatever negativity there may be, Today we ask Bhagavan to be our guide and to guide us on the path that will recognize these negativities and inspire us to overcome them all. And for those of our members who are ill, who are suffering in some way or the other from the negative effects of the Graha, we ask Bhagavan to bless these individuals, to make them well, to make them whole, that they may once more be participating members of their homes and of the community. Especially today we pray for Srimati Sheila Simbudas, Srimati Harde Ritraj, Srimati Janki Samaru, Sriman Birju Rampal, Srimati Anjani Rampal, Srimati Kamini Devkinandan, Srimati Harde Rampasad, Sriman Dev Pagu, Sriman Rai Sankar, Srimati Jani Prasad, Sriman Munesar Budhan, Srimati Ramrati Lildhar, and new addition for today, Srimati Vivita Prasad, I think is her last name. And that is Shalini's daughter. She is going in for surgery tomorrow. We pray she recovers quickly and be able to join her family at home before very long. There may be others as well, and we are not aware of them, but we pray for universal welfare this time, and I'd like all of you to put effort into this, because the vibration that comes out of all of us helps to make things happen in the universe in existence that helps all humanity. That's why we pray for others, to be able to inspire their recovery as well as to bring welfare into the existence. So this Navgraha, we join, we pray for peace in the heavenly regions, peace in the atmosphere, peace upon the earth, as it affects our own lives. Om Brahma Murari Sripuram Chakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Sukhodasya Guruscha Sukha Shani Rahu Ketu Sarvega Shantikara Bhavantu Sarvega Shantikara Bhavantu Prem Swasi Naudadevata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. Flowers in hand, take the yellow one again. Once again we offer prayers and puja to Bhagavan Vishnu, the all-pervasive Bhagavan who becomes manifest from time to time and age to age for the benefit of humankind, by whose grace and blessings the dumb speaks, the lame walks, the blind sees, the impossible becomes possible. Today we are asking of Bhagavan in the same way become manifest in the world, for man's welfare, for humanity's welfare. May you become manifested in my heart, be the guide of my intellect, guiding me in the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, of religion, the path which leads to welfare here as well as the hereafter. To this Mahavishnu, we join in humble salutation. Om Sashankha Chakram Sakirita Kundalam Sapita Vastram Sarasvira Vikshanam Saharvakshastalakaustubhasniyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturbhujam Om Karoti Bhajam Anugam Gati Girim Yat Kripatamam Vande Om Nilam Bhujashkamalakhomalangam Sita Samaropitvamadhanam Panam Mahasayakacharuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sita गोविन्दं गोकुलानन्दं ब्रह्माण्डेऽपि पूजितम् ब्रह्माण्डेऽपि पूजितम् श्री महाविष्णु भगवानुभ्यो नमः नमामि ॐ रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्यकरं शुभम् आसनं च
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर जय गोबर
जय कुंज बिहारी
यशोदनन्दन सजन यशोदनन्दन भज जन रंजन यमुना जीवनचारी राधा माधव बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जय गिरिधरहारी जय गोपी
जय गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Radha Madho, Jai Hari.
प्रेम से श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. We'll join now to glorify Bhagavan Mahavishnu in the form of Sri Ram. Shyam is going to help us with this.
बोलो राम जय जय राम 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 बोलो राम जन्म सफल होगा रे बंदे मन में राम बसाए मन में राम बसाए बोलो राम जय जय राम 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 बोलो राम प्रतिष्ठा वन करुणा और सदा सुखदाता बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम प्रतिष्ठा वन करुणा और सदा सुखदाता सरस सुहाग अति बलवान राम सुमीत बनाए मन में राम बसाए बोलो राम जय जय राम 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 क्या गुरु से दूरानी बोलो राम जय राम बोलो राम जय राम बोलो राम जय राम बोलो मोह माया है झूठा बंधन क्या गुरु से नाम नाम जो चला अपना भाव जगाए मन तेरा बसाए बोलो राम जय राम बोलो राम जय राम बोलो राम जय राम बोलो राम जय राम बोलो
प्रेम से भगवान विष्णु भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Once again, with flower in hand, we meditate now to Bhagavan Shiva. Shiva symbolizing a real absorbing aspect of divinity. Atman becomes merged into Paramatman. When moksha is achieved, he is called Vardata, the giver of wombs. By repeating the Panchakshara mantra Om Namah Shivaya with love, with devotion, in the puja of Bhagavan Shiva, the simple tendencies inherent in all of us, brought on by anger, greed, jealousy, covetousness, hatred, pride, all products of the ego, these become burnt in the fires of our devotion. In this manner, we attain purity of thoughts, of words, of deeds, of mind, of intellect, of actions, which are prerequisites for self-realization, by offering puja with love to the feet of Bhagavan Shiva. I invite all now to sit upright to cast away the worldly cares. We all have them. Let's put these at the back of the minds for a while. We meditate on the most pleasing aspect of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is beyond names and beyond forms. The names and the forms are tools, machines if you wish, that help us to keep the mind under control and guide us on the path that will lead to the highest welfare. Today we ask Bhagavan Shiva to manifest himself in our hearts, to be the guide of the intellect, guiding us on the path of welfare. To this Shiva, we join in humble salutation. Om Vashnam Tatim Papanasham Haresham Gajendrasya Pritim Vasanam Varenyam Jata Jyota Madhye Spurat Gangavarim Mahadeva Ekam Smrami Smararim Om Mahesham Suresham Suraradinasham Vibhum Vishwanatham Vibhutyangabhusham Virupakshamandvartavahmedridekam Sadanandamire Prabhu Panchavakram Om Girisham Ganesham Galengilavarnam Gajendrahirudam Gunatitarupam Bhavam Bhasmaram Bhasmaram Bhushitangam Bhavani Kalapam Bhaje Panchavakram Om शिवकान्त शम्भो शशङ्कर नमो रे महेशान शूलिन् जटाजुटधारिन् त्वमेको जगत् व्यापको विश्वरूपा प्रसीदं प्रसीदं प्रभो पूर्णरूपम् ॐ नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपयोगगम्यम् नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्यम् ॐ प्रभु शूलपाणि विभो विश्वनाथ महादेव शम्भो महेश्वरनेत्र शान्त स्मरारे पुराणे वरण्यो वरेण्यो नामान्यो नगम्य वरण्यो वरेण्यो नामान्यो नगम्य ॐ श्री शिव शंकर भगवानभ्यो नमः नमामि ॐ रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्याकरं शुभम् आसनं च मया दत्तं ग्रहण शिव शंकरम् ॐ नमोऽस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय विदुषे अथो यस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो अकरन् नमः ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् ॐ वरुणस्योतं वर्णस्ति वरुणस्य स्कं सर्जनीस्तो वरुणस्य ऋत्सलं यसि वरुणस्य ऋत्सलमासि वरुणस्य ऋत्सलमासि पाद्यमर्घ्यमाचमन्यं स्नानं श्री शिव शंकर भगवान पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ गोक्षीरधामन्देशं गोक्षीरेर्मया कृतं स्नापनं देव देवेश गृहाण शिव शंकरं क्षीरस्नानं श्री शिव शंकर भगवान पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ पंचाम श्री शिव शंकर भगवान पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ शुद्धाला सर्वशुद्धालो मणिवालस्काश्रया शक्ता शेता क्षीरोणस्ते रूपा पशुपति कर्मण्यामा अविलिप्ता रौद्रा नमो रूपा पारजन्य गंगा जल स्नानम श्री शिव शंकर भगवान पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः प्रेम से बोल श्री शिव शंकर भगवान की जय
शरणं प्रभु
ओम श्रीमातोषं संतान रक्षणं परम देहलं गणं वस्त्रं नाटं प्रतिवेदा वंशज्ञानं प्रथमं पुरस्ताद् सीमता सर्वे
शिव शंकर भोले भाले, भोले भक्तों के रखवाले, तुमको हो प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। शिव शंकर भोले भाले, भोले भक्तों के रखवाले, तुमको हो प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। तुमने ये संसार बनाया, सभी तुम्हारी माया छाया। तुमने ये संसार बनाया, सभी तुम्हारी माया छाया। सर्वों की माया वाले, कैलाश पर्वत वाले, तुमको नाम हो प्रणाम। तुम अंबर में, तुम हो नगर नगर घर घर में। तुम जल थल में, तुम अंबर में, तुम हो नगर नगर घर घर में। तुम हो लहर लहर सर सर में, कहाँ नहीं तुम हो सर में। हमको बचाने वाले, दुष्टों को मिटाने वाले, तुमको नाम हो प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। शंकर भोले हर हर महादेव का नाम, हर नारी घर घर का प्यारा। हर 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 महादेव का नाम, हर नारी घर घर का प्यारा। दीप तुम्हारा खेल तुम्हारा, दुनिया का सब खेल तुम्हारा। खेल दिलाने वाले, तुमको बचाने वाले, तुमको नाम हो प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय।
धन्यवाद।
So go to Hashem there. I'll grab the mic there and I'll go ahead and do the stoker.
रामेश्वराय शिव रामेश्वराय, हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। Shiva
Namah Shivaya.
Om Atmatam Girjanute Savachara Prana Shariram Naham Pujate Vishayo Prabhoga Rachana Nidra Samadhishtite Sanchara Padayo Parakshiravi Stotrani Sarvagiro Yajat Karam Karomi Karatakilam Shambho Tavaranam Om Karacharam Kritam Ayajam Karmajam Sravanayajam Manasamaparam Hitam Hitam Vasarvitam Chamasva Jai Jai Paramadev Shri Mahadeva Shambho Jai Jai Paramadev Shri Mahadeva Shambho Prem se Shri Shiv Shankar Bhagwan ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. Now, if you were like me there when the notes hit the high effort did I don't know if your ears stood on the end, but mine did. Now, this is not the kind of feeling you get sitting at home and watching this on screen. Okay, let me be honest with you, because the song is not the same, the atmosphere is not the same. When you're in a company of people who are participating at that time, only then can you have that feeling. So, well done, Amarji. That was a very, very wonderful effort on your part. And you've inspired all of us here today with devotion, I think, in our hearts. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, we'll take the prasadam now. We'll Abhishekam. I just want to remind you, of course, you're on your own here. So when you make the offering, make sure you sanitize your hands afterwards so that you don't get into any kind of problems with anybody. And one at a time, if you can, please. Don't bunch up here, it's not good. Unless you're in the same household, of course, this is different. Go ahead. And we'll continue with the bhajan and kirtan.
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om.
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om.
Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath.
Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath.
Jai Shiva, Shankara Bholenath, Parvati Pati Bholenath. तुझसे व्यापक जल कलयु, तुझसे व्यापक जल कलयु। जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om.
गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभयङ्करमायति।
गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभयङ्करमायति।
गिरिजापति कैलाशपति भवभयङ्करमायति। तेरे गुण गारो, तेरे गुण गारो। जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om.
नीलकण्ठगतगतवासी रुद्रदेवहर अविनाशी।
नीलकण्ठगतवासी रुद्रदेवहर अविनाशी।
नीलकण्ठगतगतवासी रुद्रदेवहर अविनाशी। मस्तकफलशोभित है तुम, मस्तकफलशोभित है तुम। जय शिव शिव जय जय शिव ओम।
Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om. Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Jai Shiva, Om.
Jai Shiva Shiva Jai Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva Shiva Jai Jai Shiva Om. Jai Shiva Shiva Jai Jai Shiva Om.
Okay. Just the fruits. Please. Bring the fruits over. That's okay. Just the fruits. They are false.
राम दुलारे आज बरायब तेरे द्वारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण मंगल मूर्ति राम दुलारे आज बरायब तेरे द्वारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा दुखियों का तूने काज सवारा तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा दुखियों का तूने काज सवारा हे जगवंदन केसरी नंदन हे जगवंदन केसरी नंदन कष्ट हरो है कृपावारिता कष्ट हरो है कृपावारिता मंगल मूर्ति राम दुलारे आज बरायब तेरे द्वारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण तेरे द्वारे जो भी आया काल नहीं कोई लौटा तेरे द्वारे जो भी आया काल नहीं कोई लौटा दुर्गम काज बना बनहारे दुर्गम काज बना बनहारे मंगल में जो वरदान मंगल में जो वरदान मंगल मूर्ति राम दुलारे आज बरायब तेरे द्वारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण
सुमिरन हनुमत वीरा नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा तेरा सुमिरन हनुमत वीरा नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा राम लखन सीता मन बसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया शरण पड़े जो बरदान शरण पड़े जो बरदान मंगल मूर्ति राम दुलारी आय बराए मारे हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर
खाना कंदयन तेलाला होबले वाला खाना कंदयन तेलाला होबले वाला कैसे बजाए मुरलिया जादू करे खाना कंदयन तेलाला होबले वाला कैसे बजाए मुरलिया जादू देखो मार के तारे कैसे रास दिखाए कैसे ढोल बजाए सजपुर सब सजाए आला पकड़े गए वाला खोने वाला कैसे बजाए मुरलिया जादू करे ओ आला मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू करी ओ आधा नाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसे बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू करी मुरलिया जादू करी मुरलिया जादू करी
श्याम जी की चरणों में श्याम जी की चरणों में मन हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी की चरणों में मन हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी की चरणों में श्याम जी की चरणों में श्याम जी की चरणों में मन्ना हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी की चरणों में मन्ना हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी की चरणों में श्याम नाम अमृत का प्याला श्याम नाम अमृत का प्याला इतना इसी को बना मतवाला सारा जीवन चरणा रे श्याम जी की चरणों में सारा जीवन चरणा रे श्याम जी की चरणों में वृंदावन सा दामन ही है वृंदावन सा दामन ही है कृष्ण नाम सा नाम नहीं है प्राणी सुख का खजाना रे श्याम जी के चरणों में प्राणी सुख का खजाना रे श्याम जी के चरणों में प्रेम की भूखे देवकी नंदन प्रेम की भूखे देवकी नंदन भक्तों के भाषा में हे भव भंजन तुम्ही भक्ति फलाना हे श्याम जी के चरणों में तुम्ही भक्ति फलाना रे श्याम जी के चरणों में श्याम जी के चरणों में श्याम जी के चरणों में अन्ना हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी के चरणों में अन्ना हो जा दीवाना रे श्याम जी के चरणों में
जय गणेश गणेश देवा माता जाती पार्वती पिता महादेवा जय गणेश देवा माता जाती पार्वती पिता महादेवा भगवन को भोग लगे चंद्र देवा भगवन को भोग लगे चंद्र देवा गणपति देवा जय गणेश देवा माता जाती पार्वती पिता महादेवा माता जाती पार्वती पिता महादेवा
प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Now family and friends, let's join first in Pratna to Bhagavan. Om Lokaviramam Ranarangadiram Anajivanetam Raghuvanshanatham Karunyarupam Karunakarantam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapade. Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai
Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
Once again, devotees, welcome to each and every one of you. And I want to remind you, to be able to get in, you have to call me and confirm your position in here every week pretty well. Some of you are regulars and you've asked me they'll call only when they're not coming, which is quite good. But if you are going to come and you're not a regular, please call before you come so that we don't overcrowd the place and get into any kind of trouble. So that's the first thing. And if you haven't had your vaccine yet, please do so as early as you can. That soon we'll all be using vaccine passport to get in everywhere. So keep that in mind. And the same thing will apply here too. So as you well know, today is called Ganesha Visarjan. And it's the day that brings an end to the fortnight, 11 days actually, of Ganesh Puja, culminating with the Visarjan. So we'll look at that briefly today, but I want, before I do that, and the lessons of that as well, before I do that, I'd like to take a few moments to look at the symbolism of Ganesha. First of all, last week I mentioned it in passing, but it was very brief. That the elephant, of course, which is on the head of Ganesha, is a symbolic thing only. One, it's to remind us that Bhagavan never forgets. Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we think is written in existence already. Now, no, this is not recorded by some Chitragupta somewhere, okay? This is in existence. It's existing for all times. And the only way we can expiate these, of course, is through the other thing of meditation, to take care of the thought process, singing the glories of Bhagavan to take care of the word process, and performing selfless action to take care of the karmic process. So these are the things that are recommended for coming to terms with the errors that we make in thought, word, and deed. So these are quite common, and everyone should know them by now. If you don't, then you haven't been listening to me for a long time, because I repeat them all the time. But Shiva's son, Vinayaka, supreme leader, or leader of the Ganas. Ganas here meaning Ganapati, who attends upon and follows at all times Bhagavan Shiva, the god of obstacles, Vigneshwar. These names clearly show that Ganesha is a master of all circumstances, and not even the divine forces can ever obstruct the path of Ganesha. For this reason, of course, whenever we undertake any worthwhile process, worthwhile venture, Ganesha comes first to mind. Because whatever obstacles there may be, whether it is physical, mental, or spiritual, you want these to be totally eradicated. And Ganesha, the name of Ganesha does this for us. Ganapati is said to have two spouses. Now, Bhagavan doesn't have spouses, let me put it, these are just attributes. And these are Riddhi and Siddhi. And what are these attributes? Or Buddhi and Siddhi. Buddhi is intellect, Siddhi is achievement. Therefore, Bhagavan Sri Ganesha is a master of knowledge and achievement. In this characterization, Sri Ganapati represents a possessor of perfect wisdom and a fully realized Vedanta. Most people become disconcerted when they see Ganesha in a ridiculous form of the elephant-headed, long trunk, one side tooth out. And all these things make them wonder, well, what is going on here? But every single thing, every gesture that we perform, every aspect that we perform here, everything that we look upon, the picture or the image, Pratima, and I should talk about that image before I go on. Bhagavan is all pervasive, exists and beyond names and beyond forms. I say that all the time. I don't know how many of you pay attention and remember. But beyond names and forms. But his attributes are many. And how does the artist who wants to portray this Bhagavan to the common lay person, you and I, how does he portray it? There are many forms, of course, that he's come up with as well, each one different from the other, each one representing a different attribute of Bhagavan. But the Ganesha one is filled, chock filled, with all kinds of symbolism. First of all, let's look at the Ganesha, the elephant head. Elephant never forgets, and I told you that already, so I'm not going to repeat it. But the elephant is blessed with large ears. Alright? If you are a student of religion or you're a student of Vedanta, then you need to listen to your teacher. It's a symbolism to remind us. You get 2 ears and 1 mouth only. What does that tell you? Speak less and listen more. Alright? So Ganesha is reminding us with the large ears, oh man, you want to become a true Vedantin? Then listen to your guru, listen to the talk that he gives. And you know, we don't have, Hinduism does not have preachers. We have teachers where the student sits at the feet of the guru and listens. You'll ask questions, that's why you get him out. Because you don't understand anything and you don't ask, you'll never know. You must ask. And Hinduism reminds us, we are all seekers. If we don't ask and we don't pursue, we'll never find what we're looking for. So that's a reminder. We're not dogmatic believers in history, historical facts. And let's put it this way. In the science, there are 3 types of elements, right? And I got to thank Rohan Singh for reminding me of this. He probably is listening right now. I hope he is. He reminded me last night and he said, you know, only 3 things really. There's a solid, there's a liquid, and there's a gas. But the Hindus have added 2 more. They've added 2 more. What are these? Heat, which makes solid into liquid, and liquid into gas, and gas into Akash. So those are the 5 elements that make up every single thing that exists in this planet, and in the universe for that matter. Those are the only 5 things. But the elements are further divided into the 102 elements that we know about. We'll speak about these, and if you're a scientist, you'll know this. I don't want to delve into that for now. But a human body is made up of those 5 elements, which, of course, is what we are talking about here today. So after I'm finished with the Ganesha, I'll come to that. So Rohan, thank you for reminding me. I forgot my science days in physics, but it's been a long time, let me put it this way. Now, we want to speak a little bit about Ganesh, the trunk, for instance, okay? So the trunk is very symbolic as well, and it's between 2 tusks, or 2, supposed to be 2. One of them, Ganesha actually pulled out and hit the moon with. I'm not going to speak on that today because that has a different connotation, and it's also a lesson, so hopefully in the future sometime we'll have enough time to delve into that. But everything else, maybe I will touch on it eventually. But let's look at the trunk first. The same trunk that the elephant has can uproot a whole big tree. But if there's a pin on the ground, it can pick up that pin as well. Can you think of any machinery that human beings have invented that can perform this kind of task? Most sensitive, the most gross. There's nothing like it. So what does that tell us? The power of discernment. is symbolized by that trunk. And what are we discerning against? Evil and good, represented by the tusks. So Ganesha is a master of being able to discern. And he's teaching us through that oh man, educate yourself so that you can be able to discern as well. Not only scientific education. Science is good. Don't get me wrong. Science is good. It helps us to earn a living, and it helps us to pursue the four Purusharthas, the four Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And we've spoken about those before. I don't want to spend too much time on it today. But Dharma, of course, righteous living. Artha, the means of obtaining wealth. And that doesn't, Hinduism said, don't be a pauper. If you have wealth, you can help others. You don't have anything, you can't help anybody else. So you must have. So it says have, but earn it fairly, not cheating others and exploiting others. And this is unfortunate how the world is set up. Our Western system is set up to exploit. Tell me something, when you go to your job there and perform a task, don't you think the person that you're working for makes more money than he's paying you?
Yep.
If he didn't, he wouldn't be in business. So, but you agree to that exploitation by accepting the salary that he's paying. Am I right? Mm-hmm. So everywhere there is exploitation, the system is actually set up for that. But that's how the profit comes. And when the profit is too much, someone will say, okay, we'll share some of the profit. Profit sharing, they call it, right? The banks are the chief for this, by the way. They rob Peter and pay Paul. Or they rob Paul and pay Peter too. Banks are this way, they're set up for that purpose. They want to lend you money, especially if you're in position you're going to pay back. But they're taking back a lot more than they're giving you, believe me. But when you are in need and you need the loan, you'll take it, sure. So let's not divert from what we're saying. But bringing examples is a wonderful thing, okay? It helps us to understand a little bit more clearly. So keeping that in mind, so Ganesha, of course, is a reminder to us to be able to discriminate between, or to discern. I don't like the word discriminate too much, it connotates something else. Let's say discern. Discern is using your head to reason. Discrimination is, there's discrimination in the world, racial discrimination and so on and so on. I like to stay away from that word for now, although it means the same thing, but let's stay away from it because it brings something else to people's mind. So let's use the word discernment. I think that's a better word to use. So Ganesha is able to discern. He's able to listen, he's able to discern. And of course, going further, let me look at my little notes here because I made up these notes for something. Now the discriminatory or the discernment power in us can function only when there are two factors to discern between. These two factors are represented by the tusk of the elephant as the trunk is between them. And what they are? Between good and evil, right and wrong. And all other dualities that we need to discern so that our judgment and conclusion in life will be perfect in every way. Vinayaka is represented as having lost one of his tusks. Here it is, you see, in a quarrel with Parshuram, a great disciple of Shiva. This broken tusk indicates that a real Vedantic student of subjective experience is one who has gone beyond the pairs of opposites. So this is what the tusk, one missing, means. When one goes beyond the pairs of opposites, then one of them is gone. That means he's only on the path to righteousness. He has the widest mouth and the largest appetite. So this is where the big stomach comes in. All right. The story goes that once Kubir is supposedly the god of wealth. All right. Kubir, I know a lot of you think Lakshmi is, right? But every week I tell you Lakshmi is a symbol of light. Remember that? Although many times she's depicted holding the jug of money flowing out, gold flowing out. But intelligence, intellect, is what your true wealth really is. And if you understand that, you can use your intelligence to get anything you want. Is money going to buy everything? Money can't buy long life, believe me. No matter how much you have, the time comes and you gotta go. Anyway, let me finish this thing quickly before I So he's a treasurer. When Kubir offered him the food, he was invited once in Kubir's palace on a little party that they had, I guess. So they served the food. So the Ganesh had all the food out that they put before him. And on top of that, he had the plate and the furniture as well. And the only thing that stopped him was Shiva took a handful of parched grains and gave it to him. So Ganesh had the grains and stopped eating. Now, what does that mean? The puff rice. We all are like puff rice, you know. You know puff rice. All liquid and no substance. You gotta be strong, you gotta be a person of substance. This story of court that is narrated in the poem is very significant that a man of perfection has an endless appetite for life, which is indicated by his big stomach, and lives in the consciousness, and to him every experience, good or bad, is only a play of the infinite through him. Shiva the teacher alone can satisfy this hunger of such sincere student by giving them a handful of puff rice, representing the baked vasanas burnt in the fire of knowledge. So this is what it is about. When one's vasanas are burnt up, the inordinate enthusiasm of experiencing life is also whetted. A man of perfection must have a big stomach, as it were, all the experience of life, auspicious as well as inauspicious. Because don't believe everything is going to be auspicious. Life is made up of the opposites. We need to be able to cope with them. When such a mastermind sits dangling his foot, as you see there, dangling his foot down, it is again significant in the symbolism of the Puranas. Generally, we move about in the world through the corridors of life with 2 feet on the ground, isn't it? Yes? Or the inner subtle body. Generally, we move about in the world through the corridors of our experiences on our 2 feet, or the inner subtle body, the mind and the intellect. A perfect man of wisdom has integrated his mind into his intellect. That's why the hanging foot. Now, last week we spoke a little bit about the bandicoot rat that sits there. One little rat in a warehouse of grains can destroy everything. Greedy. But the rat that's sitting at the foot of Ganesha there will not move towards the modak that is sitting in the plate before him. Why? The rat is a symbol of desire. Every time you want something, we go and get it. You want to satisfy the senses as quickly as possible. No one is willing to take the time to figure out, okay, I want this, but is this good for me? Nobody takes time to look. You want it, you take it right away. And in this modern society we live in, the now is seen to be everything. I want it now. I don't want it tomorrow. I don't want it the next day. I want it now. And your grandchildren or your children, probably you've seen that in them already. You don't give them right away what to do. They throw themselves on the ground and they start kicking and screaming. Do you see this? Yes. And what do? We give in. And the moment you give in, they know, this is the way to get things done.
And there's something called tough love.
Tough love. Nobody practice. No parent, no grandparent for that matter, practice and know how to practice tough love. Believe me.
Now you have to practice tough love.
So the idea is, my friend, and it's a long story written about the mouse here. I'm not going to go into it, but I want to finish off with a little thing here. And this is the piece that I was trying to get to. I didn't reach it yet, but I have to explain it anyway because that's what it is about. The Ganesh Visarjan, which is what is being done today. From the 4th day of the bright half of the month of Bhadrapad, when Ganesh Jayanti occurs, to the day of the full moon, which is tonight, but early in the morning. So tomorrow also is a full moon. If you look at your calendar, you'll see it's tomorrow. But our full moon actually is today because we go from 6 a.m. or sunrise to sunset. And because of that, by the time the moon fulls, it will be late in the night, tonight. So today becomes a full moon day. So after the full moon day, the Murti of Ganesha, Murti is a Pratima, like I said, it's like a machine, right? A yantra, if you want to call it. Yantra means machine. The Pratimas are the Murtis that we make here with the various symbolism, which I already spoke about Ganesha on some of the aspects. All of them have that kind of very same idea. Bhagavan, as I said, is beyond names, beyond forms, but we use the names and forms to help ourselves, to keep the mind under control. Now the senses run away with everything. Every time you feel something or you think something, it runs away with you. And like Ganesha, we need to bring it under control. So the power of discernment should be working for us, where the one tusk is gone. Keeping that in mind, the Antakaran, which are the 4 aspects that make up the Sukshma Sharir. So this is the part, the subtle body, that goes on from life to life to life. So for the first 11 days, we make this Murti, we install it, we worship it, and those 11 days actually symbolize your lifetime and mine. You understand what I'm getting at? So the Antakaran enters into the body on the first day through the prayers that they are offering for Ganesha. They perform the puja for 11 days, which symbolize a person's lifetime. And then what happens? He dies. What do we do when he dies? We perform cremation, we perform burial, and any other means of disposal that you may want to employ. I don't know. Some bury at sea and so on, right? But whatever it is, we're not concerned with that. What we're concerned about is 11 days that are between there, which symbolize our lifetime. So when the use of the thing is done, what do? You throw it away. So the body is useful for that time that you were alive, from the time you're born to the time you die. And what is the body made up of? Those same 5 elements. The 5 elements, whether it's through cremation, through burial, blah blah blah, goes back into its original state. 5 elements. What continues is that same Sukshma Sharir, consisting of Manas, the mind, Buddhi, the intellect, Chitta, and Ahamkar. Tying all this together is the Atma. Atma, a reflection of Brahman, which enlightens and energizes everything. So you see how powerful this Ganesha symbol is and the performance of the Ganesha Visarjan? We can talk about it, people go and they actually do it, but they don't know what it means. Do you understand? This is why I prefer to sit and talk to you about it so you understand. Instead of going and hire a boat and throw Murti inside. Now the Murti is made of clay, so don't think they are polluting the lake, okay? What happens to clay? It soaks in the water and disintegrates. Similar to what happens to the body. Okay? I think that's about enough for today, right? What do you think? I see everybody very quiet, so that means I must be registering something. All right, I want to thank all of you for coming today, and all of you who are at home listening and participating in a different way. I hope you've learned a lesson or two from today's little talk. And like I said, I'm not a preacher, okay? I'm only a teacher. So what I tell you, I have to practice as well. Otherwise, I become a hypocrite. I hope I'm not. Our family will tell everybody they're all hypocrites. We all are to a certain extent. I know. Even a teacher is a hypocrite. But it is what it is, and we have to work on our own hypocrisy and try to minimize it as best as we can. So today, a reminder again, if you have not taken your vaccine, 3 things are going to happen. All of us will get COVID eventually, everybody. All of us who haven't had it yet will eventually get it. But if we are prepared, the effects will be minimized. How do we prepare ourselves? By taking the vaccines that the scientists have decided we should have. Whether it's a 2, or we get boosters every year, or 6 months, or whatever, take them each time. They're not causing, nobody's planting any tracking device in you there. It's a liquid. I haven't seen a tracking device that is liquid yet. So don't worry about that. You listen to the nonsense people keep putting on internet, and the more internet you read, the more nonsense you get passed on to you. So be careful what you read. Be careful of the source first of all, because all these sources are spurious and we don't know who's doing them, but they're doing them for a purpose. The purpose is to make money. All right. And if you fall into that and you do get the COVID and you haven't taken your vaccine, 2 things are going to happen. You could recover and get the antibody, or you'll die. You want to take that chance? In the meantime, while you're waiting to die, you're infecting everybody else and all the healthcare workers. So please, I beg of you, if you know someone, if you've all had your vaccine, but you know someone who hasn't or who hesitant, encourage them to please.
At Warden Station, free clinic is going on.
Think careful.
8 to 8.
Yeah, think careful, because right now it's a pandemic of unvaccinated. A few people, I know it's not 100% perfect, I gotta be honest. So out of every 100 people who take it, 15 might not work for them. Because everybody's body is different. You know those 5 elements I spoke about earlier? In each of us, they're not the same quantity in each. They're not the same makeup. Some of us are bigger than others, so it takes more. Some of us are skinnier. Some are more bony. But skeleton size is about the same. But the thing is, for each person is different, but the majority of us, 85% actually, will be protected. That's a high percentage, believe me, for any vaccine. And that's pretty good. So encourage them to do so we can all mingle again and be normal. This abnormality is driving me nuts. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know about you, but it's driving me nuts. Everywhere you go, you can't shake people's hand, you can't hug them, and even my own grandchildren I can't hug. Now that I've got the vaccine, I can, but the fact is, before now, you miss out on a great 1.5 years of my life was gone, wasted, totally.
But we have to realize we're not supposed to hug and kiss anymore.
You're afraid to go out. You're afraid to go out. You can't go buy your grocery. This is all nonsense, but let's do the things that is necessary to put us back to normalcy again. I urge you all, anybody listening out to us on Facebook as well, please think carefully. And I hope soon we'll be able to fill the place up again and all meet and hug and interact. Listen, Tulsidas says, Binu satsang the vivek na hoye. Without this satsang, the vivek na come. But with this satsang, everything will be normal. We'll all be able to intermingle again. Thank you all for being here today. I have one donation today. The donation is from Robin and Saroj Maharaj, $125. And I met them at the puja last night, and they gave me this donation. I thanked them. They don't have Facebook, so they can't see me thanking them, but I do thank them. All right, did I miss anything? I don't think so. We're ready for RT and closing. Thank you all for coming. Pardon? Oh yes, Pitri Park starts from Tuesday, the 21st. I think it is. Huh? Tomorrow is the 20th. Let's see what our trusted calendar says. Trusted calendar. 21 to 5. So it's not tomorrow, it's the day after. So Tuesday, because tomorrow is still full moon. So from Tuesday, so next week when we get together, we'll be doing Tilanjali. So bring the names of your relatives. I will call a relationship. You will take the name in your own mind, okay? One person will be doing it here, and everybody will be joining to do it at the same time. So Tilanjali will be done, and we'll be going through the entire system of every relative that you have 3 generations back. And I'll speak on some aspects of what the Pitri Paksh is about. And 2 weeks this is going to happen. So both weeks we'll be doing the Tilanjali because I've got people sponsoring, and they want to do it. They want to pay gratitude to their foreparents. And it's a wonderful thing. We all come up from families who have made sacrifices to put us where we are. And if we don't show some kind of gratitude for the sacrifices they made, then we are ingrates. I don't think any of us are. Let's arm ourselves with the names of 3 generations back, father. Only the deceased, by the way, okay? Not living. Living is not ready yet. So father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, both sides, and great-great-grandfather, grandmother on both sides. And brother, sister, any other cousin relative, will be going through them all. So please.
The Tarpan will be individual or en bloc?
No, Tarpan, you can make your own individual one. We'll have a bucket set up here with Tilanjali, and you can make that. But when we get to the Tilanjali part, then one person will be doing it here. Everybody will call their own relatives because it's a mental. Alright? So everybody can come and do it. Otherwise we'll be here for the whole week. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks. So everybody will be doing it at the same time through the person who's making the offering here, okay? So it's a mental offering for you. But you'll be having a physical one as well. Okay? Thank you all for being here. Let's please stand for Aarti and closing.
भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से बचाने।
भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से बचाने।
Point this way. For those of you who are listening to us from home, get your list of names as well. While we call in the relationship here, you can call your own family name there. So even though you're not amongst us to do this, you can still participate by being at home and doing it. So get your list of names, parents, foreparents, brothers, sisters, anyone that might have departed this earthly life. And we, of course, will be calling those names, and you can do it from your own home. Thank you very much. It's our way of showing gratitude to our ancestors who have passed on. Go ahead, Sean.
Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Om Yau Shanti
Shubham Shanti,
Prithavi Shanti
Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti.